Hey friends, it's Celia Beth and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about bad games, in particular bad games from my childhood that I've made myself play. So before we get into it, please make sure to send a like my way. I'm new to YouTube and I would really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so to explain, I guess, where I'm coming from the story. So my first console was a Nintendo 64. My first game was Mario 64, and that's considered widely as a fantastic classic game. It's widely seen as one of the best Mario games in the N64 kids' opinions. Anyways, so the thing is though, is that after I played that game, the next game that we played, I think was like Banjo-Kazooie, then Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing, Kirby 64. And if you haven't noticed yet, all my first, I guess, introductions to gaming were all very, very good, widely accepted, amazing games. So let's bring us back way back in the day to a random Friday night. My sister and I are in Blockbuster, and what was cool was that my sister and I got to pick one movie and one video game. We'd usually pick a random anime, whether it be Sailor Moon, a Hayao Miyazaki film, or anything of the sort, and then we'd pick a Nintendo 64 game to rent for the weekend. And the thing about this, though, is I remember going down the aisle, and I think it was my chance. It was like my turn to pick a game. And oh boy, did I pick great. I remember walking down the aisle and like seeing Ocarina of Time. Check, already played that. Kirby 64, bam, have that one. And then resting my eyes on a few games that I had thought were going to be just as amazing as all the other games I had played. And the thing is, though, is what I judged from a very good game was, did the box art look cool? Awesome. Did the character look cute? Great. Was it in front of me and available at the time? Heck yeah. So honestly, like, those are my criteria of what I thought would be good. So I remember picking up certain games, bringing them home, being super stoked, seeing the cute little character on the little cover art, being down as all heck, and turning on and playing it and feeling really disappointed. Like, honestly, like, stupid disappointed. And the thing is, though, is that since I had all these games that were absolutely amazing, I thought the fact that I wasn't having a good time was because I just wasn't playing the game right. So for a lot of these games that I started to play, I had thought, I had really thought that it was because of me, not poor game design. So that's what actually brings us into the topic of what I want to talk about today, my two least favorite games in my collection. So fun fact about this before we go into it, so for these games, around this time I ended up acquiring them, and basically what happened was that I made this rule for myself that I would not get a new game until I beat the other ones that I had. It just for the fact that I felt like it was important to 100% things, so I wasn't like wasting anything. And so this is a story of how I soft locked myself into some shitty games. Anyways, okay, so the first game that I want to talk about is actually Glover. Yeah, this game is horrible. Okay, so the thing is though, if you look at the art, there's Glover. He's a cute little glove on a ball. The art looks good. Official Nintendo seal of approval. So, you'd think, from young child Celia time that this would be a great game, but it wasn't. It was released in 1998. It was the 3D platformer Mania. And the thing about it, though, is that, oh man, it was horrible. Like, the mechanics were difficult to deal with. The story, like, it starts off, you're in a castle, cool, and you're seeing like this wizard guy making some like meth-like concoction in this cauldron, and he pours too much. Oh no, you poured too much evil. Guess what happens? Yeah, I went from 0 to 65. Just kidding, went 0 to Satan in like 34 seconds. And like basically what happens is like one glove falls into the pot of evil, one glove falls out the window, a bunch of crazy stuff happens, things start exploding, the whole overworld gets satanic, and basically like these magic crystals like fall from the castle, and the glove that conveniently fell out the window like changes them into balls. You know, you'd think he would pick, like, I don't know, anything else that would be more convenient to go fetch, but whatever. So basically he turns the magic crystals into balls, which fly into different little dimension holes. Cool, great. And you have to go fetch them. And like that would have been cool because as a kid, I loved collectathons. I loved finding different things and collecting. But the thing is though, is that like Glover had weird ball physics, and the controls were slippery, so we didn't even have real glove physics because gloves have good traction to it. So rude on their part. And just overall, it was basically a giant fetch quest with horrible mechanics. So I was not a fan of that game. Still haven't beaten it today, actually. That was the game that broke my rule of beating my games, but whatever. Enough story about that. Okay, so the next game that I would like to talk about is actually a game called Quest 64. And oh man, okay, so since I had started out with a Nintendo 64, I was not exposed to RPGs for a very long time. Like, sure, I was exposed to them on the Game Boy, you know, the Game Boy Color, but like a true like console RPG, I did not get for a very long time until I started playing PlayStation 2, but that's a different story. Anyways, so Quest 64 looked like it was a game that was going to be absolutely amazing. And like, you know, basically you start out, there's an epic quest, you're this kid named Brian, your dad went out for a pack of cigarettes and didn't come back, and you have to find him. And basically this game, like the expansive world, how you have to mess with the four elements and everything in the sort makes it look like it would have been such a fantastic game, but it wasn't. And like the thing is that like when I play games, I like to explore every nook and cranny, go into every different like room, or like grotto in the forest or whatever, talk to every NPC. And for some reason that game was absolutely horrible. And also, to top it on this fact, I did not have a memory card at the time because Quest 64 is actually the first game that I played that needed one. Because the rest of them just saved on the cart, and I didn't understand that you needed it. Like, I know it said it, like, yeah, you need a memory card, you can't save. But I'm like, I don't know what that means, okay. And then, like, went through it. So basically, I would go on these playing marathons with Quest 64 for like 3 days trying to beat it. And actually, that's how I found out about speedrunning, but like, that's a different story. Anyways, and I remember like I remember trying to beat it and just not understanding why I wasn't having a good time. And I rented this game before giving up like 3 times. So that was 3 weeks of Quest 64 of trying to figure out what the heck is with this game. And it wasn't until I went to school and I think I mentioned to one of my friends and I was like, hey, like I really hate this game. And he was like, Celia, that's just a really bad game. And I was like, a bad game. And he's like, yeah, that's why you're not having fun. And that really just kind of solved the mystery of why I was having a bad time. So yeah, some honorable mentions to my list. I know I want to talk about my 2 least favorite games, but there are tons of other ones that left definitely a very disappointing I guess, taste in everyone's mouths. Another one I guess I just did not have fun with was Jet Force Gemini. And like still to this day, I blame myself of why I'm not having fun with it. One of these days, eventually, I think I'll like it. Probably won't. It's probably like these games that I'm just in denial. Another game that's worth mentioning that I did not have fun with was actually Superman 64. I know everyone and their mother hates on this game because, you know, you fly through rings and then you just fly through more rings, and that's basically the game. Besides getting disappointed, that's like the bonus round. Is that like I don't know, like I was really into the Justice League as a kid, And like, you know, the whole superhero thing was like so fantastic to me. So having the idea and my first superhero game to be that game, and just having my utter like disappointment just like go all the way down, was definitely something that is worth noting. Okay, guys, so that's a little bit, like, I guess we're ending and wrapping up my story time. Please in the comments let me know what, you know, your first experience with a bad game is. Everyone likes to kvetch, so please get into the comments and let me know. I'm very excited to hear your stories. Also, if you made it this far, please make sure to subscribe if you want to make sure you get more content.